If you're paying for Lovable, you're going to love Google's new AI Studio. It allows you to do the same thing as Lovable does, but completely for free and with a lot of integrations like the image generation and even video generation out of the box. In case you don't know me, my name is GD, I built my first company and now I spend my days automating and creating AI products. So let's get started. If you want to build a product to MVP, the first thing you need to go is actually to AI Studio. The link is in the description and you'll get something like this. You'll need to log in, but it's mostly free. You might have to pay if you get to a certain point, but you can use a lot of it and build your MVP for free. And what you actually want to do here is go to the build. You should see it on the left, so I'll just click it. And you can see that we have our menu where we'll work here. So if you click the settings, you'll see some settings. I'll just leave it at Gemini 2.5 Pro. I'm not going to add any system instructions. When you're creating a project, you're going to need a coding language, and it gives it two out of the box, which is Angular and React. Lastly, if you want to be talking instead of writing, you can just add a microphone, so you can just ignore this. So this is the main part. This is where we're going to describe your idea. But we can see we can also supercharge our app with AI. And we have a bunch of AIs we can choose from. We have Nana Banana, which recently seems to be one of the best image models. We have VO3, which allows us to create videos. Of course, if you do use this will be paid and you'll have a cost for some of them. But we're going to use some free ones so that you can see the potential and that you can create a lot of stuff even with the free ones. We can see Google Search and Google Data, also very useful. And you can see we have a lot more, like analyze images. What we're going to be creating for this example is an application where you enter where you're going to travel with some details, and you'll get a full travel itinerary. We'll need Nano Banana just for website images overall. We'll use Google Search Data and Google Maps to actually do the search and actually get the maps. And I think that's pretty much it. I don't think we need anything else. Can give it this. Make sure it can think, and this should be it. So now we have to actually describe our idea. I'm going to say something like this. Create a new website that allows the user to enter details about the travel destination and dates, and you generate a full itinerary for it. Make sure to look up local attractions, what time they open, and also take into account that the user will want to visit the most places within a small range each day. Use Google Maps and search for the image of the attraction. Let's just send build. And it will take a lot of time because it's building a lot of stuff. Well, a few minutes. So let's just wait. You can see on the left we have the assistant itself, where we can see what we sent and what we're using. And on the right we have a preview, and we'll also be able to get our code. Other options that may be interesting, especially if you're not new into the area, you can see you can add GitHub. You can also deploy app. To deploy an app to make it public, you actually need some other services that Google provides, but it's very easy and you can do it with just a click. If you do reach a limit on what you're creating, you can always switch to a paid plan. You just click here and you create a way to actually pay Google, and you'll have an API key and not use the free tier. Lastly, you can change the device you're looking at, and it's always important to look at the mobile devices nowadays. So you can just click here and change it for wherever it wants. We don't see anything yet, so let's just wait a bit. We can see on the left a bunch of stuff is getting created, which is an actual project in React. If that looks confusing to you, don't worry, you don't actually need to know anything about this. Okay, so now I can see it's asking us for a permission. Let's just give it. And now it seems to be finished. Let's try this. Let's do Japan. Let's say we're going between 10 and 12. And let's just give it something to see if it's working now. Something like this. Select museums and click on the quick itinerary. And we see we got an error. So when you got an error like this, we can just either copy it here below or just tell Gemini what failed. So we enter the error and we just send it, and once again we wait. It's now finished. Let's try again. Same thing. Let's send, and now I can see it actually seems to be doing something. Let's give it some time. While it generates, as I said before, we can click here on the device and we can see how it would look on mobile, for example, or even other dimensions, or we can just go back to as we were. You can also see there's something weird here. So for some reason it created an AI image editor, so we'll also remove this next, but just make sure this is working. Okay, so you can see some errors showed up, but if we go down, we can see it's actually working. So we have our itinerary, and we also have the sources, which is interesting. Okay, let's do some more changes. Let's ask it to remove the AI image editor. So you want to keep the changes small and within a scope. If you give it too much tasks at once, it might not work as well. So just say something like remove image editor, and then you go to the next step. Seems to have finished, and now we don't have the button. Let's implement now the next changes. Right now this application was fully AI generated, but you can also tell it was fully AI generated because the UI is not really good. Common mistake that people that generate AI apps do is leave the UI as is, but this looks very AI built. So what you want to do is go to, for example, Pinterest. You find a web page that you like and that seems modern, and you download the image, and then you just go to Gemini, you drag and drop, and you say something like this. I want you to update UI to look like the one in the image. Use Nano Banana for any images you need to create, so that you can create background images and stuff. Let's send and wait. It's been a few minutes and we can see it's already looking way better. It also adds some elements that we don't actually have, so we need to remove those. It also did not add a background image, so we also want it to do this. So I'll do something like this. Remove the top navigation and book now button, which is this button. Make sure you add the background image that matches the website. Also make sure the form is visible when someone goes to the page. Right now it's like this. We don't actually want this because we have to scroll down. So let's just do something like this. Send and wait again. It's been a few minutes and now we have something that looks much better. And you can also see how this looks on mobile. In this case, the style of what you give it is what's going to be applied, so you can very easily change it by giving it another website. Now let's make sure it's still working, so let's do Tokyo. Let's just send it like this. We know this part takes a bit, let's wait. And here we go, we have a result, but we can see it actually failed to call the Gemini API because we have 3 quotas and it's actually in it, but you can see we have our itinerary, day 1, day 2, and it's looking much more modern than it was before. We can also see how it looks on mobile. So let's scroll down. You can see it's still very readable. One last thing we want to do is to add an option to download. So let's just say this. I want you to create a download button that allows me to get a PDF of the itinerary. Let's send and wait. Once again it's finished, so let's test it. Now it's finished, so let's try and download the PDF. We get this, so let's save, let's open, and this is how it looks. Obviously we can make this much better if you kept going, but you can see the power of Google's AI Studio. I think it will very quickly start replacing Lovable. Although Lovable is very big, we now have a free way to actually build an MVP, while Lovable only gives you some free credits. And I think this is going to be adopted by a lot of people. So get a head start, start learning now and exploring the other parts like uploading and deploying the actual apps. And I hope this was interesting. If you like this video and would like to see more videos like this, make sure to subscribe and thank you for watching. See you next time.